and welcome to the I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the scores and stories from the world of sports. We have a lot of action coming up with a new venue finally chosen for the African Cup of Nations, the biggest game we could have set up as the final match of the ATP season, and an amazing basketball world record. All that and much more coming up. Let's get started. Just 2 months ahead of the African Cup of Nations, a new host was chosen after Morocco refused to host the tournament due to the fear of the spread of the Ebola virus. Equatorial Guinea will host the most prestigious tournament in African football, set to begin on January the 17th. The West African nation is ready when it comes to infrastructure, as it was the co-host of the 2012 tournament along with Gabon. Equatorial Guinea will also replace Morocco as a participant in the 16-team championship, despite being expelled of the qualifiers in July for fielding an ineligible player in a match against Mauritania. The Confederation of African Football expressed its deep appreciation to the country for taking the responsibility of hosting the event in such short notice. Now to Europe, where this weekend is time for Euro 2016 qualifiers with some very interesting results. No problems for Spain in Group C. The European champions beat Belarus 3-0 at home, but they still trail behind Slovakia, who maintains their perfect record 4 out of 4 after winning 2-0 in Macedonia. Wayne Rooney's 100th cap for England turned out to be just great. The captain scored in England's 3-1 win over Slovenia. England is still perfect in Group E, and in Group G, Austria keep on running strong after beating Russia at home, and Liechtenstein got a surprising win in Moldova. On to the results from Friday night, and Poland continue their good run in Group D, this time winning 4-0 in Georgia. No problems for world champions Germany against Gibraltar, and a real shock in Group F, where the tiny Faroe Islands won in Greece, and in Group I, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, was on target for Portugal as they beat Armenia, and Serbia lose at home to Denmark. Friday's results cost two managers their jobs. One was Serbia's Dick Advocat, who was released following the home defeat to Denmark. The other is Claudio Ranieri. The Greek press was furious with the Italian manager following their loss to the Faroe Islands and demanded his immediate release, and they got what they wanted as the Greek Federation announced Ranieri is released from his duties just 4 months after assuming the position. 10 years after winning the European Championship, the Greek national team is at its lowest point in years. The team has just 1 point from 4 matches. It's unclear yet who will be the men in charge for their next match in Hungary next March. Tennis now, and though it's already clear that Novak Djokovic will be the world #1 at the end of the year, there will still be a lot of prestige to play for when he faces Roger Federer in the final of the Tour Finals tournament in London. Djokovic faced Japan's Kei Nishikori in the semifinals. He seemed to be cruising to the finals, winning the first set 6-1. But the US Open finalist came back, taking the second set 6-3. The decisive set was once again a one-sided affair. A double fault ended a terrible set for Nishikori. Djokovic wins 6-1, 3-6, and 6-0. It was much harder for Federer in the Swiss derby. Stanislas Wawrinka served for the match in the third set and had 3 match points but lost them all. In the tiebreak, he got match point number 4 and lost it again. Federer needed just one opportunity to seize the match. The Swiss drama ended with Federer winning 4-6, 7-5, and 7-6. One thing's for sure, they both look ready for the Davis Cup final at the end of the week. Doping, as we all know, is a serious problem affecting almost every sport, but mostly associated with cycling and athletics. New measures are now being introduced to deal with this. Can they do the job? Liz Barenbaum and Michael Friedman try to answer and remind us of some big names who are currently out due to doping.
Doping again disrupts the world of athletics. Germany has introduced a bill that punishes athletes for up to 3 years in prison if found guilty of doping. This is a strong message for the athletes. The bill includes fines and also forfeiting all awards received during an athlete's career, which was won through performance enhancers.
The aim of this law is to maintain the integrity of sports and to fight doping. We are presenting an effective law, a short law, a clean law, but also a tough law.
In France, athletics is always in the headlines. The number of medals at the last European Championship in Zurich was very impressive. The French had 23 awards, including 9 gold medals, which was a new record. Yet the bronze medalist of the 10,000 meters Lila Treby is now under custody after the police found EPO in her apartment. The former French sports minister, Valérie Fourniron, just took charge of the medical committee of the World Anti-Doping Agency, and she hopes to curb the phenomenon by any means possible.
Doping methods are constantly changing, so we must be up to date as much as possible. In a few weeks, I will be in Tokyo, where there will be a symposium with the pharmaceutical industry, so we can better and better control what products are available on the doping market.
The Treby case is only the latest in a long line of occurrences. Last July, the hammer thrower Quentin Bigot had confessed after testing positive for stranozolol. And also, Teddy Tamo, the world champion of the triple jump, was suspended for 1 year because he missed doping tests in 3 different occasions. Despite the athlete's doping, he felt very confident about his skills.
Now my body knows what it's like to land at 18 meters and validate it on paper. It is true that I had reached these results quite often, and the fact is to realize it, the brain remembers, and I hope I will do it again later.
Ditto for Alice Deca, who was selected for the World Championship in Moscow in August. The French hurdler was found positive for a dietary supplement that contained amphetamine. This resulted in a 6-month suspension. The athlete yet has always maintained her innocence and ignorance of the problem, a situation that concerns many in the world of sports.
To make it short, it's more education for these up-and-coming athletes, especially those coming from a disadvantage, and so that they can know, over-counter supplements. There's a danger on it. There's you don't take something, because there is rules. At the end, you're going to lose.
The greatest champions know they must remain vigilant and not accept anything. The responsibility not only lies with the coaches.
You have to be very careful as an athlete because right now there's a lot of things on the ban list that you may not know about, so you have to keep up to date all the time. So it's kind of hard, but that's why you have a team to make sure to help you out.
The question is whether athletes are humanly capable of meeting the expectations of their coaches, sponsors, and the public. The temptation is always great to do what it takes, legal or not, in order to win more titles.
Rugby now, and with the World Cup less than a year away, teams are now holding test matches with some surprising results. Australia, who is currently touring Europe, lost in France 29-26. The Southern Hemisphere teams, New Zealand, South Africa and Australia, are seen as the powerhouses of rugby, having won all but one World Cup so far. Should we expect something else next time? It may be a bit too early to tell, but the Australian manager knows there's plenty of work for him in the coming months ahead of the tournament.
The biggest thing for us is about making ourselves consistent. You know what I mean? We can play well, we have to do it every week. And that comes through training well every day, keeping the standard high for yourself, and the individual player getting himself prepared the best he can every time he trains and plays. And that isn't something that's going to happen in a few weeks. That's something we've got to keep working at. And then when they leave here, they leave the Australian team and they go back to their Super Rugby teams, the same type of preparation.
Winter is quickly approaching in the Northern Hemisphere. The ski season is just around the corner, and if you plan about being a ski champion, there's one place you should definitely go to. Michael Friedman with the story of the School for Champions.
For some of the world's greatest ski champions, many started in Stams, Austria. For 50 years, this school trains champions. Specialists in alpine skiing, ski jumping, snowboarding, they all come here in hopes of becoming champions. But the road to glory is always difficult, as the ice enthusiasts train 6 days per week, 6 hours per day, including afternoon workouts. And in addition, they have weekend competitions, and some participants are only 14 years old.
You must give it your all at all competitions and trainings, and be your best, because there are so many people who are as strong as you. You have to work hard every day.
Much is expected of the students, really. They have a very busy schedule. They have little free time when they are at school, but they learn to live with it.
School examinations are suspended in winter due to the busy schedule of training sessions and competitions. Teachers also catch the program at the end of the season. The school welcomes international students from Italy, Switzerland, and even Canada. However, all of the teaching is in German.
It's a great experience to be able to enter the school and maybe one day the Olympics too.
But the school is very expensive, costing around 8,000 euros per year, not counting all the equipment. But for those who dream of Olympic glory, the challenge is well worth the effort.
The goal is to help young, talented and dedicated to skiing. They offer excellent training and allow them to follow their goals and develop their style. If successful, the student will pocket a graduate secondary and live a rewarding life. If it really goes well, he will also have success in the sport.
But only 1 out of 10 graduate and will become a professional athlete. But with many students already competing internationally, succession is assured.
Now to the NBA, where two teams in a completely different state of mind met in tech. In Dallas, the Mavericks are running strong, whereas the Timberwolves are having a terrible season so far. It didn't take too long for the difference to be seen. Minnesota was around only in the first quarter. After that, it was all Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki never had problem with the long-range shots. This one goes in from way behind the three-point line to put the Mavs up by 5. The Mavericks' big guys just cruise through the paint, no defense to be seen, and it's already a double-digit lead for the home team. Dallas was up by 19 at the break. Second half, more of the same. Brandon Wright with a slam. He was 6 of 6. Quite easy when this is the range you shoot from. They're not just about good offense. The Mavs showed quite a good defense. Here's Monte Ellis with a steal on the fast break. Dallas led by 29 after 3 quarters, which meant the final 12 minutes were one long garbage time. Dallas wins 131-117. Scoring a basket from the other side of the court is extremely difficult. Doing it throwing backwards, that is already a world record. That is exactly what Harlem Globetrotters player Corey Thunder Law did when he broke the world record for the furthest backward basketball shot from a distance of 25 meters, an entire basketball court. You can look at it again and again and again. It would still look unbelievable. Thanks to this amazing shot, the Thunder earned a very prestigious spot in the Guinness Book of Records. South Africa has some of the best spots in the world for surfing. High waves and warm waters make it a perfect place to surf, but it's also a popular destination for sharks. Lethal encounters between sharks and surfers resulted in numerous death cases for both species. A new development now aims to make the waters around Cape Town safe for both sharks and humans.
Surfers love the bays around Cape Town in South Africa, but so do the sharks. The KwaZulu-Natal Sharks Board has made it its mission to ensure humans and the underwater predators can peacefully cohabitate. A 100-metre-long cable with vertical risers that emit a low-frequency electronic field is being tested on the seabed off Glencairn Beach. When they encounter the electric current, sharks should turn away.
Sharks have a special sensor which detects electrical fields in the ocean, and that's what makes it unique from the other animals. So they are the only creatures that will sense this electric field that our cable is generating and feel a little bit of discomfort and move away from the area where the field will be. There is no impact on other sea creatures as they do not have these sensors.
And humans shouldn't feel it either. If they do dive down and touch it, they should only experience a tingle. The testing will last 5 months and be monitored throughout, and surfers will be able to ride the waves with more peace of mind. The predators have killed 13 people in South Africa in the past decade, according to the shark spotters in Cape Town.
Well, I think the sharks are here, we were here before, so we just have to fit in with them. So if it means putting a cable in to help us fit in together, to live in the same place freely, then it's great. I mean, I think they should try it out, and it will, I suppose, have less fear for people who are scared, and then more people will go into the ocean and enjoy the nature.
The electronic field faces numerous challenges: relentless battering by the sea, marine life, and using electricity in water. But if successful, the barrier would be a massive leap forwards from the shark nets on South Africa's east coast, which kill hundreds of other animals, from turtles to dolphins.
The small Spanish town of Cervera in the hills of Catalonia was never really known for its sports. Things are changing thanks to the Marquez brothers. Just a year after throwing a party for MotoGP champion Marc Marquez, the town welcomed its home hero once again, but this time the celebrations were twice as big, as His brother Alex also joined in, winning the title in the Moto3 category. The champion brothers, along with their racing teams, took part in the very happy parade on top of a truck through the town as they were cheered by their adoring fans. And yes, even if you're a double world champion, even if you won the MotoGP championship at the young age of 20, there is really no place like home. And that's it for us today. Don't forget, you can watch this and every other show on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. We will be here again tomorrow with Talking Football, summarizing everything there is in the Euro 2016 qualifiers. Till then, thank you for watching. Have a beautiful day.